And by way of introduction, welcome everybody. Can everybody hear the best way they can, how they've set everything up? Does everybody know how to see the captions at the bottom of the screen? Okay. And finally, just talking about questions, yeah, feel free to raise your hand during the presentation or use the chat feature at the bottom. I'll be monitoring that. And also, I want to make sure that you fill out and submit an evaluation for this session, which is found at the bottom of the invitation to Zoom that you would have received this morning. So I'm going to get started here. As the topics stated, we're going to start with Lorin, and we are going to take a slight different tangent than what we have been before. I also want to announce it's not official yet. We are still trying, but we are hoping that the administration at Lifespan will allow us to go back in person the third Thursday in May, but that's not confirmed yet. If it's not confirmed, one of the criteria is they have to allow us to go back without using masks, and we're still waiting. Yes, Dan.
I was in a meeting with Paul yesterday, and I asked him, they believe the mask will be lifted Monday.
Okay.
At Lifespan, where staff and visitors do not need to wear a mask unless they wish to. So,
well, then
stay tuned.
I'm anticipating contact from Paul after that. I have not heard back from him, but I'm sure he's waiting until everything falls into place. So
yeah, and we'll also have to keep an eye on you. You've probably all seen what's going on in China.
Yes.
So things could change next month. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just be alert.
Okay. I'd like
Carolyn got her hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Carolyn.
I just wondered, when you go back in person, will this be a hybrid meeting?
Unfortunately,
No.
not, Carolyn.
Okay.
It's because actually the way we're doing the session now is not the way it's supposed to be. The regular in-person demo center sessions are one-on-one individual. A volunteer who is familiar with the technology works with a guest that comes in. So each separate guest that comes in the door is matched up. Go ahead, Dan.
Carolyn and the rest of you, I'm the vice president of the Rochester chapter, and I have been kicking around the idea of having a program in the evening like this. When we do go back in person, we'll be losing Hope and Demo Center virtually as a chapter. The program meetings will be hybrid. However, we'll be losing Hope in tech committee. So I was kind of contemplating having like a session in the evening. I'm not sure exactly what day of the week, but it'll be consistent each month, and it'll consist of Hope and Demo Center kind of together for an evening thing, so people can continue if they prefer to virtually.
Okay. So, I use the HLAA calendar on Groups.io, so anything posted there I would see. So thank you.
Okay. I will be sure to make sure it shows up on that.
Right.
I just don't know when. It might actually wait until next year to start, but maybe we'll start in May or June. We'll see. There's just so many moving parts, so we just gotta work on it the right way. So, okay.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
It's like a Lego.
Lorin Gallistel is going to take it from here. Lorin, I've made you a co-host so you can share your screen. So go ahead and you can get started.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So what Charlie said, we're going to take just a little bit of a different approach here. Actually, most of it's the same. I'll be starting with just showing you how to get to the demo center. And then I want to go over the categories each time. I recognize all your faces, so I know you're already familiar with the demo center, but I think if we just look at the categories of devices that we have, it might, trigger something in your mind, a question you want to ask or a comment you want to make. But then what we're going to do at the end, if we have time, maybe well before that, is look at some other devices. I was thinking that, we focus on the devices we have. And we've talked a little bit about some of the new devices that we're getting, but haven't actually received yet. And I haven't put them on the virtual demo center yet. But I think all of us, as we're reading the news each day, the technical type news, we see comments about a new app that claims to do this, or a new product that claims to do that, or maybe some hearing aids or, pseudo hearing aids. And I don't know about you, but I take a quick look and then I sort of blow by it and go and do other things, because you just don't have time to look at everything. So I have a list of some of those products. Some are, hardware products, some are apps. Not a huge list yet, but I'd like to go over some of those and maybe find out if you've had experience with them. Or also if there are other devices that you've had experience with that you'd like to mention. Like, for instance, Carolyn mentioned the, last time I think she mentioned the Heard That app, which I have not tried yet. I have it on my smartphone, but haven't got around to trying it. So that's very helpful if we can get that kind of feedback, suggestions. So let me start again with the way you get to it. The virtual demo center is by starting at the chapter website, hearinglossrochester.org, and then clicking on virtual demo center. And then you have to scroll down a little bit. These are just some pictures of some of the products we have in the demo center, both the live one and the virtual demo center. And then you click on that icon. And we go to the main page or the start page. So I'm going to click on looking at devices. And by the way, what I was talking about, maybe starting to address some of the products that we don't have, some of the new apps and products. I was thinking maybe we could add another image down here, and it would say something like new and untested or interesting or something like that. So if you have any comments on that, you can either say now or just go to the questions button on the main page or right here. And that's really questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. So anything you want to say, but that would be a good place to suggest something too. Let's look at the categories of the products that we have right now. Okay, and we'll start with these, the Pocket Talker, which is usually one of our most popular products. An FM listening system, shotgun mics, smart headsets, and that's all under personal listening and accessories. We're also going to be including a couple of products that I'll talk about in just a little while. One is a UHF transmitter receiver that you can use in situations where you would use the William Sound PFM Pro. And what else? Eric, you mentioned another one, I believe. Eric is turning out to be our supplier. He's donated so much already to the website, to the demo center himself.
Yeah.
What else was it?
The latest gear that I put together for donation is gear that plugs into your phone, assuming your phone is Bluetooth connected to your hearing aids. But it gives you a remote mic capability through your phone, either wired or wireless, either way.
Okay. By the way, send that along to me and we'll include it on the demo center, all right? Or maybe you did already and I just haven't done it. And then another category is hearing on the phone. So this is sort of the more popular ones are the amplified desk phones, and there's a cordless version of that as well. We have a few different brands in our cabinet at Lifespan. And then the caption phones, caption call, and cap telephones. And then there are other apps, which is in a different category, but there are apps that can perform the same function independent of these two brands, or the apps that go along with these two brands. Both Caption Call and CapTel have apps that allow you to see the same thing you would see on your caption phone, but you can see it on your smartphone as well. Hearing and induction loop devices, which I think are becoming more popular, especially this one, the portable info loop, which you find in customer service counters in many stores and at ticket offices, et cetera, just everywhere really. And neck loops, amplified and passive neck loops. And then a product we looked at just a minute ago, which is this one, the smart headset, which also has a telecoil in this version. By the way, I don't know that I ever mentioned this, but if you're really looking for something cheap and dirty and you have an Apple, an iPhone, these loop buds are really just like a pair of regular earbuds, but they have a telecoil in this little piece right here. And so you can plug that into your iPhone and it will use your iPhone as if it's the amplifier. It uses your iPhone as the amplifier. So the telecoil picks up the signal, it feeds it into the iPhone. The iPhone amplifies it, adjusts it. Does it adjust it? No, I think you could use an equalizer with your iPhone, but the point is it'll turn that signal around and play it back through the earbuds. They do have an independent app that supposedly works with Android phones, and I've tried it. The problem with Android phones, though, is that all the different manufacturers have different tolerances, and some of them have a lot of delay built in for an app or for a product like this. That is, by the time you pick up the telecoil signal, your phone amplifies it and sends it back to the earbuds, at least in my experience. The person who's talking, you hear as an echo with what you're hearing in your ears, because it takes a while for that signal to get processed. Apple, though, has very good specs on that and very low delay. And actually some of the Android devices as well.
Yeah,
Some
I'd
don't.
just like to interject these portable, we call them counter loops. And it's labeled here as portable info loop. These are real popular with hospitals and libraries because they're not only able to be plugged in, but they've got built-in batteries with several hours of capability. They don't require any external mics, although they accept them. They're self-contained, self-standing, and because they only once in a while get a request for help, it's the kind of thing they can hand to a patient, and the patient can take with them to the various places where they're going to be. The patients like it, the hospitals like it, minimum investment. It's a pretty good deal.
Thanks, Eric. Excuse me. And then we have alerting devices as well. So that's just a quick overview.
Hey, Lorin,
Yeah, Dan.
Carolyn has her hand up.
Oh,
Is this the time to ask a question about something
Anybody
here
can
that you're
jump,
showing?
you can
Okay,
jump
I
in
have that.
anytime you want.
I have a question about AutoJoy that you showed, and you were describing the feedback because you're hearing the voice and also hearing the voice through the device, correct? And my question
Right.
on that is, I have two telecoil settings, one with background noise, one without. And I'm wondering if that would work better, or which telecoil setting are you using when you describe that situation?
Oh, you're talking about, I see. You know, I didn't explain this correctly. My apologies. But
That's okay.
the AutoJoy loop buds would really be more aligned with somebody who doesn't even wear hearing aids because of the, you know, having the earbuds in there. Now I've tried successfully to insert earbuds while I have my hearing aids in, and it does work, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Uh-huh. So basically, it doesn't have telecoil in the device.
It has a telecoiler right here in the AutoJoy loop buds. But what I mean is, if you don't have a hearing aid, you know, if you have hearing aids, then most likely you have a telecoil, so you don't need a product like this. But if you don't have
Oh,
hearing aids, but you have trouble hearing a speaker, you know, in
yeah.
some facility,
I
you-
thought the AutoJoy was like a neck loop. That's what I was picturing.
oh, I see.
You see, so that you would need the neck loop in order to use the telecoil, you see.
Right. Just think of the AutoJoy as
But
another.
that's
set of
not the
earbuds.
case, right? You're
That's right.
telling me that's not the case.
That's not the case. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Lauren, can I
I have
interject?
another quick,
Go ahead.
sorry, I had another quick comment and question about that same device. I actually just ordered one recently and I have not gotten it yet, but I'm looking forward to letting friends and family try it out. Like we're saying, it's not really intended for us that already have hearing aids or implants, but it's better, it's more intended for the hearing population or the mild people that have a mild loss, to help them get a little amplification, and even greater so, I think, if I understand this right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it would also allow somebody to experience the sound in our head, or in their head, like we experience with our devices when we're connecting Bluetooth or telecoil. So correct me if I'm wrong, but if I have a friend who has no hearing aids, no devices, and we go to church or a theater that has a loop, if they wear the AutoJoys and connect to the sound system in that place, they should be able to hear it in their head like I do with my telecoil, correct?
Yes, Michelle, you said it much better than I did. That's exactly correct.
That's okay.
And you know, I think
Yeah.
even for people who have perfect hearing, if you're in a church where there's a lot of echo, or in a classroom where there's a lot of noise, they really help there for people to hear much better with the earbuds.
Yeah, but it's only if the sound source is talking into a microphone or a system.
That's
Right?
right. Right.
Yeah. So I think this is one of the keys to get the hearing population on board and understanding what we're asking for and looking for in loop systems, and I thought about getting a couple of these for we have a Hope Chest, which is like your demo center, where we have a few assistive devices that we loan out to people. And I'm thinking these would be wonderful to take to venues to help them understand how we hear their loop, or how everyone could hear their loop if they had such a thing.
Well, yes, excuse me, that could certainly work. The thing is, if you're giving this to people who have not tried it before, they need a couple things. One, they need a smartphone, and preferably the iPhone, or and they need a little bit of experience in using it because you have to download an app to your phone that works with the loop buds
Yeah,
so that it can take the signal in and amplify it. And they have to set all that up. And for some people, it might be a bit of a stretch. Now, what you might also consider is a loop listener that you could give to people to try out. You know, a loop listener with a set of lightweight headphones. And that would give them the experience of understand the importance of a loop, especially to hard of hearing people.
Yeah. In fact, I've donated standalone loop listeners to 2 churches that I attend, and I've equipped them with a choice of either a neck loop or a headphone. And it encourages folks that have, their hearing isn't what it used to be, but they don't have hearing aids yet, or they do have hearing aids, but it lets them experience what's on the loop. And the preachers tell me it helps them because they can check out the system before the service. So yeah, they're great devices.
Right, here is the one from William Sound. There's also one from, I think, Charlie or Dan. We have the contact loop receiver, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, that's correct. We also have 2 of the Williams Sound monitors.
Okay.
But
And
also, Lorin, just
like I say, I collect them, but I even have one that I got from a nefarious source on the internet. Cost me $10. Works fine.
hey, Lauren, usually if a venue is looped, they have a couple of these on hand. I mean, that's kind of part of the package. If they
Yeah.
don't, they should. So if you do go to a church or someplace
The
that is looped, they
problem-
generally have a couple on hand.
number one problem we have with church loops is that nobody's testing them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So they sometimes don't work. But if you make it easy for the preacher or the sexton to check things out, there you go.
Yeah, and they also take, AA batteries that need to be either recharged or replaced. Another place to use something like this is at a movie theater, like the AMC. They have an FM system that they can hand out with a headset.
Yeah.
So you can listen to the movie through the headset at your seat.
Yes.
But what I do is I replace the headset with a neck loop and put my hearing aids into the T-coil mode.
Yep.
And then I could hear the movie right into my hearing aids.
Yep.
Same concept, pretty much.
Yeah, I have an FM receiver that I carry with me to put, it's just like the Carousel Theater and the like. Any place with an FM.
The Pocket Talker also has a telecoil, the Pocket Talker 2.0, that is.
Dr. Two, yeah.
So, and all of these devices are, they're not really expensive. I think the cheapest one is, the loop buds. They're like 75, or they were $75. The contact, I think loop listener is a little over $100. Fred, you have your hand up. Okay. Oh, go on, you're on mute, Fred.
Can't hear you, Fred.
Fred, you're on mute. I wish we had a little button that we could light up the screen for them. Anybody read lips? Fred, you're on mute. Could you try that again? There you go.
Okay, am I there? Am I there?
Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, as they say, it's with the neck loop. You just have to be careful when you handle the other person, your unit, that they don't question if you're recording their conversation. There's so much of this going on in the world. Everything is crazy. So you just gotta clear everything you do, no matter what it is.
Yeah, especially lawyers, Fred.
Any other thoughts? Questions, comments? Suggestions?
Leon, I do have another question. Many of you know Al Safardini, the gentleman from Canandaigua, who was one of the first one in our area to have a cochlear implant. Two things. One, I've tried to contact him. I don't know if he's out sick. I don't see him at any of the meetings, so I'm worried about that. The other thing I was wondering, Leon, is there a thing now, if you've ever received a message from Al, it's usually well printed out. Now he has a device, I believe, that he bought a long time ago, where he talks and the voice becomes adjusted so that you can, rather than write an email, you can send it that way. And have it, well, I should say, it's all printed out on the email that you're sending, rather than trying to go through everything with people. I believe RIT had some units there that they showed at one time.
Yeah, I can jump in on that. There's a lot of the newest Windows systems have a built-in capability to convert voice to text. I don't use it, but I know it's there.
I just wonder if we have any of that equipment, because as I say, I remember, I don't remember, a year or two ago, we had somebody come in from RIT and they put on a demonstration. And I was very interested in that. And I think that is a big help. In other words, I'm finding a problem as I get older, trying to compose a thing on the computer where if I could speak what I want to say and then send it as an email, it's a lot easier.
Lauren, may I comment about something? This is Sue.
Go ahead, Sue.
Yes, Fred, I just want you to know that Al is fine, well, and healthy. He and his wife attended our HLIA get-together a few weeks ago, and he's doing just fine. And I'm not quite sure why he's not attending some of the Zoom meetings, but in person, he's doing just fine.
Thank you so much for Sue. I appreciate that, because I know he was having a lot of problems between him and his wife. And that's why I was concerned. He hasn't responded to any of my emails that I've sent to him. And he is another one that was such a big help for me with my getting into the cochlear implant business.
Yeah, he just sent an email this morning at 11 o'clock this morning. So he's doing just fine. You're good to be concerned about him. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. And you're right. I think he does have a device that he speaks into that is voice to text.
But I'd like to find out a device like that. I know it certainly would be easier for me under the current conditions.
Hey, Fred, you might already have it. If you use your smartphone to send mail, if you use Gmail, you will see a little microphone button, and that allows you to talk, and it will transcribe what you're saying into text in the email message. I do a lot of, well, it's easier.
Okay, can you save that then and paste it into an email?
It goes right into the email.
Excuse me? Oh, it goes right to the email.
Yeah, give me.
Well, this is something that when I first came on here today, it's Dan has been the one you're the one that's helped me with this cell phone business. And as I say, I'm still learning. I'm having a little problem trying to bring up I have the app and I do get a lot of things, but there's things like you're talking about now is what I'd like to learn and hear about.
Fred, if you want to get in touch with me, I'll be glad to help you with that.
Okay, when we get together, what, in May or whatever, or out on the lake fishing, we'll discuss it.
Another one that might help you, Fred, is, if you've got a smartphone, there's a couple of free services available that transcribe anything that's coming in into text so you can read it. And there's one that'll even transcribe what you're saying so you can see both sides of the conversation, just like cell phone text messaging.
That's the type of thing I'm interested in. So I don't know if it will have such a thing at the demo centers to show people, to give them, to let them know that this could be done.
Some people have asked about that in the demo center, Fred, and so we demonstrated to them. And sometimes
On my phone, I demonstrated it, yeah.
The people from RIT would probably be glad to come into the demo center someday and go over it with everybody.
Okay, I think what we'll do next, if you don't have any questions on this, is I'll switch over to that other topic I talked about, existing and new products, and just go over a few of them. Okay. So I think you should be able to see this. This may eventually appear on the demo center main page as well.
Lorin, can you maximize the screen, please?
Mine is maximized.
Okay,
Let's see if I can.
Maximize the font.
Oh, here we go. I'll just do this. I think I can expand it.
try Control Plus.
Yeah, that's what I did. But it's not doing anything. Okay, well, in that case, I'll speak the name of each thing, and then I'll connect to I will click on the link and we'll be able to see it a little better. So some existing products, as you know, we have the Williams AV neck loop in our demo center. I'm just going to mention that one first. I won't click on this one, but it's a passive neck loop, and it has a mono plug on the end, which sometimes is a problem because you may have to get a little converter which converts your neck loop, which has maybe it should have a mono plug on it, but you may need to get a stereo to mono converter jack. Well, they're introducing, or they have introduced, another version of their neck loop, which has a stereo plug on it. So anyway, if that works for you, it doesn't mean you hear stereo in your ears, but it does mean that it'll work with your phone.
I do have that caption call phone, and I talked to Bruce many times. No matter, I've tried everything, different size plugs and everything, and I could never get that thing to work out of my phone.
Huh. Do you have a Bruce? Bruce, if you help Fred with that, does he have the right converter, or is that not the issue?
But at one time, when I talked to the people at the phone service, they said they did have heard that a lot of people do have a problem with the plug-in for the headset. This was one of their representatives from New York City called me one time.
The plug on the capture call phone is for a headset that has both a microphone and a headset. It's actually got 4 sections in it, a left, a right, and a mic. The tip is mic, and the tip is mic, and the next 2 rings are the left and right. And so if you plug in a regular headset, you'll get the audio, you'll hear it, but the microphone won't work on the phone, and it cuts out the outgoing microphone. So
Yep.
you have.
No,
to have,
I've
you have to
tried
have a good-
different plugs, some with just a single plug in, some with the had two on them. And as they say, the phone itself only takes a very small plug. It doesn't take the normal size. That's one of the problems.
They
But I
have an
do have
adapter
a lot of adapters, but I could not get it ever to work.
And it's a
They
2.5
do have an
millimeter
adapter for it.
plug.
They hand it out. I'll see if I still have one.
Yeah,
I
I
can
have
give everything back.
I have the same thing on my computer that I'm using right now, but it's a 4-prong plug that ends up in it's just called a splitter. It's got microphone jack 3-pin and a headphone jack 3-pin. I plug my neck loop into the headphone, and I plug my mic into the mic jack. Works fine.
All right, so back to neck loops then. I just wanted to mention that although we show the Williams neck loop, there are other brands, of course. One of them is Bellman and Symphon, and that's sort of an interesting, this is a UK company. But their website is interesting too. They have a number of hearing assist products that you may want to take a look at. So let me just show you. I don't know how well this is going to work. There's always so much delay when we're trying to click on links in Zoom. See, they have personal amplifiers and external microphones, etc. But here is your neck loop. So if you're looking for a neck loop, that's another possibility. And that's really all I wanted to mention about it. There's also Contacta. Oh, this is interesting. Contacta has a neck loop as well that has been in production for some time. Its product number is LA166, I think. But they will be introducing, I think, next week. I found out from customer service. A child neck loop as well. They'll be splitting it into two different lines, an adult neck loop and a child neck loop. So I thought that was sort of interesting. Here is a wireless UHF microphone system that Eric mentioned. And this is like the Williams Sound PFM Pro, which we have in the demo center, but it's much lower cost. And we discussed this in a previous demo center as well. There are some of the differences are probably the quality of the build, the range that you get. Now, in case, I guess I should be a little clearer here. So what this is for is if you're in, let's say, an auditorium, you're listening to a speaker and you can't hear what the speaker is saying normally when you're in that environment, you would hand the transmitter with the microphone to the speaker and ask them to attach that to their lapel or their shirt some way or other. And then you would hold on to the receiver and you will hear everything that the speaker is saying. It goes directly from the speaker down here, and you would have that connected either to your neck loop or to a set of headphones.
Yeah,
But
I also use it in restaurants where I set the transmitter in the middle of the table and put the receiver in my shirt pocket, and I can pick up 8-10 people around the table. It's great.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a great application for it. Okay, so I'll move on from that if there are no questions. And we'll look at,
Hey, Lorin,
yes, Dan.
there's a question that came through chat. Has Williams Sound changed names?
Yeah, they used to be called Williams Sound and they've changed to Williams Audio Video, Williams AV. That was just within the past year that happened. And then another product that we are getting, hopefully soon, into the demo center is the Be Here Smarto. I think this one is worth mentioning again. None of us have experience with it yet because, and a number of us have ordered one of these, but we haven't received it. They're now advertising that it will be available Q2. It's made in China, and that could explain some of the delays with the lockdowns they've had over there. But here's what it looks like. It's very much like a pocket talker when you look at it. But like Be Here, but like Be Here's other products, there are smart headsets. This one enables you to use it with an app or without the app. But when you use it with the app, you can give yourself a hearing screening. You may say hearing test, but it's similar, but it's not like an audiologist's hearing test. But what it does is it allows you to touch some controls on your smartphone screen to set your hearing threshold level. So they'll play tones just like you would hear when you go to an audiologist. And once the app has determined what your hearing threshold is at all these various frequencies, it'll create a profile of your hearing loss. It downloads the parameters of that profile into the Smarto itself. And then that Smarto will be acting somewhat like a hearing aid might. That is, the sound it picks up will be tailored to your own or customized to your own hearing profile. So you can plug a neck loop into this or a headset, and it'll help you to hear better. There is, in case you are interested in this somehow or other, somewhere I had a link. Excuse me for a second. Oh, I lost that link. I had a link to a video that shows the product manager demonstrating it. On paper anyway, it's quite impressive, but we don't know yet how good it's going to be.
John English has his hand up.
I'll go ahead.
Thank you. Just still being pretty new to this, can you just briefly explain, does a loop receive sound or does a loop transmit sound, whether it's around your neck or in a church or in a building or whatever? Just a real quick
Sure. It depends on which loop you're talking about, but there are sort of two things we call a loop. One is a neck loop, which you wear around your neck, and you plug it into your smartphone or into another device that produces audio. And it will send a signal around your neck through the wire that's inside the loop. And that will transmit to your telecoils if you have telecoil in your hearing aids. And if your telecoils are enabled, you have to push a button or use an app to turn them on.
Yeah, the loop, whether on the counter or wire around the room, it's like a miniature radio station. And
Okay.
then the neck loop and the T-coil are like a radio receiver.
Okay. Thank you.
Something I suggest you do is go to the demo center and go to the learning center.
Yeah.
Here you're going to see a video about how hearing loops work. And
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, they'll explain how that works to generate a signal that's picked up by the telecoil in your hearing aids or in a loop listener, that AutoJoy loop buds that we talked about, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that dinosaur with the white hair in the upper right, Lorin?
Okay, so that's it for the existing products. We have a little time left. So here are some hearing aids. We talked about one of the, or two of these in the past, just very briefly, and I want to mention them again. We don't know how good they are because none of us, as far as I know, have ever tried them. The Neura True earbuds what's interesting about them is they're a set of earbuds that work with an app, much like the Smarto that I just talked about. And they will adapt to your specific hearing loss. They cost $199. You can download the app for free. Give yourself a hearing screening, check. And then apparently these earbuds will adjust to your hearing loss. So that's
I would just add that those are intended for folks with what I would call normal hearing loss. They're not intended for folks with severe conditions.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that. I'm scrolling here to find it, but I believe they mentioned that it's not for somebody with profound hearing loss, for instance. So that's,
Art has his hand up.
for us. Art?
Lauren, on the Smarto, do you need a smartphone to use that?
No, you can use it just like a pocket talker,
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
but you can connect it to your smartphone so that it does have Bluetooth. So you can connect the Smarto to your smartphone and the smartphone can stream audio into it.
Mhm. Okay.
The Bose hearing aids we talked about as well. These are one of two hearing aids that I'm aware of that have been cleared by the FCC to sell. They're self-adjusting hearing aids, so you don't need an audiologist. I'm mentioning them because they are very well known, of course, in the audio world, and they have a very good reputation. They're not cheap. They're still almost $900, but it gives you some control over setting them up for your hearing loss. So that's an interesting product that you might want to explore. Another interesting product is Jabra hearing aids. They've also been cleared by the FDA for sale. And I'm just going to scroll a little bit to see if you can get an idea. Somewhere here they should explain them. Oh, I take this back. It looks like, I forgot about that. Looks like Costco is the only provider right now of these. I think maybe you can buy them online. You may want to check that as well. Forgot about that. So I think as time goes on and we hear about new products, we'll be adding more to this list, just in an attempt to sort of help people understand a little bit better what the heck is going on out there with all these new hearing aid products and over-the-counter products. And then
Lauren,
yes.
before Carolyn had an interesting comment on chat about hearing aids. Did you read? Did you have a chance to look at the chat messages?
Yeah, I did. It was a couple different apps she talked about, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't have a chance to really look at it. I'm trying to look at it right now, but something's wrong with my chat screen.
It's too, she said, before I leave the meeting, here is some new technology in development called hearing eyeglasses with captions.
Yeah.
Here are two companies developing these. Transcribe Glass is planning to have a beta available mid-2022 for $55. The two companies are Transcribe Glass and Hearing Glasses LLC. She gives the links.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I hope that the chat, does the chat go away when we end the session, or is that saved? The reason I ask is that I'm afraid I'm going to lose that when the meeting ends. I guess if so, I can just get in touch with her again.
Lauren, I can save it. Normally goes away. I will save it and send it to, I can keep it, the file, and send it to anybody who needs it.
Great. Thank you, Charlie. There's, okay, so as far as apps, there's the Olilo call captioning app. That's one that Eric brought to our attention a while back. And that's another, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but that's another call captioning app like InnoCaption, for instance. I think Eric stepped away. Yeah, that is right. It's a call captioning app. You can use it on your smartphone. You do need to get approval from your audiologist to register for that app though, because it's covered under an FCC program which pays for the captioning, just like it does with Caption Call or CapTel smartphones. The AmiHear hearing enhancement product, it's a app. That one looks pretty interesting too. It's the first app I've seen that looks like it gives you a hearing test or hearing exam. It creates a hearing profile with the app, and then it will adjust the audio that it plays back to you, whether that's streaming or a call or whatever. It'll play that back to you with your customized profile. So that's interesting. Looks like people are starting to catch up with some of the BeHear products, which is a good thing. It's about time. This can be help for a lot of people. And then I think we had one more, and that was, two more. This one looks interesting, but I don't quite know what to say about it. What looks so interesting about it, it's Audio Intelligence is a company, and AISO is the product and app, product or app, I'm not sure which. But what they claim to have solved to a large extent is the problem of hearing in noisy situations. They have, I suggest going to this website and taking a look at it. They show a demo. They show a demo of people sitting around a table. I mean, it's a video. And they show how the app will follow the speaker and it'll single out that speaker, even with all the other noise in the room. It's impressive in the app, but frankly, it's still marketing. So, marketing isn't always completely correct. Yeah, there is a demo. I'd play it here, but it takes a while and it'll be sort of jittery on this connection. And then one final app is Heard That. That's the one that Carolyn Odio mentioned. Did I pronounce her name right? ODIO. She said she's used it and it's been a big help to her. I've not tried it yet. Anybody else? Let's see what do they say about it. Conversations in a noisy environment. So if you feel like trying some of these things, I think most of them are free. Most of the apps are, that is. Some of them may have a subscription fee. But if you do try them, really appreciate your feedback on whatever you find out. I'll try to give them a try as well, but it's just a matter of getting the time to do it. So that's all I have to say. Anybody else?
Thanks, Lauren. Why don't you stop screen? Yeah, thank you. That'd be great. See if anybody has any questions. Michelle.
Hi, yeah, I have just two quick things I want to mention because I need to get off for another noon call. One is I just want to see if any of you are aware or make you aware that some of this new hybrid technology may not be all that great. We have a venue that we had our hearing loss conference a couple years ago, And the loop worked out wonderfully in their room for that conference 2 years ago. But now they've adjusted it and upgraded it to a hybrid technology with cameras, and they put all the microphones in the ceiling. And this is a huge room with very high ceilings. And it's the latest and greatest, newest technology, but we went to test it out and it was awful. We could not understand the speakers through the loop very well at all. So I'm just bringing this to your attention to look out for those kind of things. We're going to be following up with them to test it some more to see if we can get back to the old way it was. They said they got rid of the handheld microphones because of COVID and wanting to be touchless. So I can see this being a new trend that we need to get on top of before the world replaces all of our wonderful loop technology with this awful option. So yeah, just wanted to say beware of that. And then also the Zoom meeting I'm about to get on is a Zoom meeting promoted by Zoom to ask anything to the CEO of Zoom Corporation, whatever. So I'm going to be getting on that to ask why the heck they have not made their captions automatic so that we can select it ourselves. I was just on a Zoom meeting the other day with my bank, which is a great community credit union in my area, and they did not have any captioning on it whatsoever. And I'm like, and it was one of those things that was automatic, that was just an automatic webinar that you could not even ask questions. You were supposed to ask questions in advance, and I forgot to ask for captioning in advance because it seems like it should just be automatic provided nowadays. Well, I guess not. So.
Wow.
Is that meeting open to the public? I mean, this is a publicly advertised thing that I could find a link and get on?
It should have been. So I will be following up with my bank on that. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to have to step out, but I truly appreciate everything you're doing. I always love to connect in with your meetings once in a while because I know the Rochester chapter is on top of all of this technology. So I appreciate being able to come into your meetings from Wisconsin. I know you just talked about going converting to in-person meetings, and I think that's great. We're doing the same thing. We're trying to get back in person, but we're considering doing something hybrid also, so that some of our members can still link in, because we've gotten some people from, out of the area, just like you're doing here. So I think that's the new way to hold our meetings, is probably some kind of virtual hybrid option. So good luck. And it was good to see you all.
Chapter meetings.
Charlie, just before you say goodbye, I see Kelly and Sarah, and I don't recognize their names. And may I just ask, Kelly, where are you from? Kelly Bomer? Yes, Kelly, where are you from?
I am actually from Utah. I am the Hard of Hearing Program Supervisor here at the Division of Services for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And
wow.
So I found out about you guys through a colleague, Shelley Wyatt from Hearing Loss Live. And so she shared the information about you. And we are in the process of trying to update our assistive technology room. And so I'm in this position. I've been in this position 3 months now, and we have a lot of older technology. So I decided to join in and just to, get to know you guys and to continue to connect. So I look forward to, even though I'm on the other side of the country, but I'm here virtually for the moment. So.
That's great. That's wonderful. And I see it's 101. Just Sarah also,
hi.
Where are you from?
Hi, I've been here before. I'm Sarah Ozer from HLAA North Bay in California. That's north of San Francisco.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to, I put in the chat that we have a recording of the Smarto presentation by Ruth Bridger. If you want to see it, it's on YouTube. Um, I have a general question with the new devices that are coming out pre over the counter, where you do your own testing and the high prices on those. Do you think that that testing will be sufficient even for people with a little bit of hearing loss?
That's a $64,000 question, I guess. But if my experience is worth anything, what I found using the Be Here headsets is that the hearing exam or screening, if you call it that I got with the app created a profile that was very, very close to my audiologist's generated profile. And those, I'll tell you, those headsets, for me at least, there's just one person, work about as well, almost as well as my hearing aids. So I'm pretty confident that a lot of the products are going to be good, but there are going to be some real clinkers in there too.
Okay, well, thank you for that input. That's good to know. Thank you.
Folks, it's a little after 1. I'm going to stop the recording, but I can linger on the meeting for a short time longer.
Goodbye.
I just